Welcome to episode 3 of Stranded Alien Dawn. Now today we've got quite a lot to get through, including research, dealing with an attack, finding new types of resources, and we now have electrical grids. That's right, we've researched electrical grids, but there is more to do. So we will go through this tutorial, as in just skip, but I'm just leaving it here so you've got enough time to read it. So you have diesel generators, power cells, wind turbines and solar panels, but you require additional research to get those items. Now batteries of course are needed to store power, but at the moment, as I said, we've got more to do. We need to expand our storage, finish our fortifications, but we've now unlocked a load of electrical items, including a power switch, a power cell generator, some power poles, and that now goes next to our lightning rod. I will be skipping this footage forwards as necessary throughout the episode, so you're not wasting time. So we've got a new discovery, an ore deposit. Okay, so it can be mined and smelted into alloys. Nice. So that's something else that we can now do. Now, of course, we've already got our smelter, so that does mean when we get additional ore, we can throw it in there to get the alloys that we need. Now, we're currently researching cereal coffee and the oil press and tea, and we want to add some additional items. So, what shall we add to our research queue? Now, this is entirely up to you, and I will say that I left construction basics probably too long. But you will see that I did build a house in time for winter as this series progresses, and I also address what people are talking about in feedback in relation to the game of not being able to keep a warm room. I'll give you a hint. It includes remembering to close the windows and having enough heaters to actually heat the room, because you can't expect one to do it. Okay, so anyway, without further ado, let's carry on with the actual current content. So we now have fermentation barrels, so we want to throw a couple of these in. We'll make them out of wood. Where to put them? Let's just put them down the side of the building there. And again, so what it requires and what it can do. So it transforms grain into alcoholic beverages, or you can make antibiotics. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. You can pickle vegetables as well, which is what we will be doing with the barrels later on in the episode. Okay, heading back to base camp, we are going to need to expand our storage. We do have some space at the moment, but you can never have enough storage. We will also expand our crops. So we will add more crops. Let's cut all of this out of the way for now. There we go, and cut. And that is going to give us an absolute mass of sticks, but that's fine. We're just going to get everything. We don't want to touch our stone fence, so that is fine. We went through each of the item types highlighted and decided what we wanted to do with it. Okay, our band of merry survivors at the moment aren't suffering from any serious mental health issues, but you will find as the series progresses it does become more and more of a challenge to keep everyone happy. But let's get the shelter expanded so that we can have enhanced and more storage. So we'll put in one. Just do a copy, or you can use shift as somebody pointed out. It's personal preference. Sometimes if I'm only going to do a couple of things, I prefer copy, but you can also use the shift key, and that will allow you to put multiples of any given item in. Apologies that I didn't talk about it before now. Okay, so again, what do we allow? You want to remove the raw food and cooked meals, because you certainly don't want them being put on the floor, and maybe disallow apparel and anything else you think that maybe shouldn't be stored openly on the floor under a roof, even though it's what we all do with our garages in the real world anyway. Okay, so there we go. They're pretty much sorted out. We've removed everything that we don't want on there, and then we want to put in some more shelves. So we'll go with wood, again making sure it's facing the right way. And there we go. So put that in down to the 2 squares, and of course they're all separate. In an ideal world they'd all link up, but that's fine. I'm also aware that the Tame and Train release has dropped for Stranded Alien Dawn. I will get to it when this site develops and it gets to the point where my already recorded footage ends. I noticed that a lot of people seem to be having problems with crafting slop for their animals, so again that might be something that we look at in a later episode. So Edmund has just reached physical 5, which is a good thing, and we're also nearly at the point of the footage where we're going to start skipping forwards. But first, let's have a quick look around. And again, is there anything that we still need to discover? So no, we still haven't discovered this bright-leafed plant. Well, I can give you a clue. It's going to be cotton, pretty much cotton by the time we've got that discovered. And again, is there anything else that we've missed or anything else that we need to discover? Let's have a quick look around. No, we still haven't looked at the purple plant yet either. And we have ore now which can be mined. So we can mine the ore and that will give us additional crafting resources, including silicon. So we are going to be able to start crafting electronics once we've researched it. But let's skip forwards. So go to our research. What are we currently doing? Cereal coffee. Okay, that's fine. We've got flamethrowers on there, and we also have spaceship deconstruction. Now, spaceship deconstruction allows you to then salvage what's left of the crashed items after you've scavenged. So it yields quite a lot of additional resources, the likes of power cells, fuel, and loads of other stuff. Now you can see that the coffee research is actually progressing fairly quickly. Oh, we've got heptagonia, and that is going to be sweet syrup. So that's those yellowish things growing on the rocks. So we can now plant heptagonia, and more importantly, we can harvest it for sweet syrup. Now, of course, sweet syrup is going to be a lovely ingredient. Now, we've skipped forwards again, and we've moved over to the rocks here over on the side. Now, if you're using the same seed, everything will be in the same place. We've researched our cereal coffee, so what we do want to do now is add it to the list. So coffee and until, and then decide how many you want. So we'll go with 5. And I'm sure someone will nip along in the not too distant future and get that crafted. You can also see that our outer fortified area, the fence is nearly complete, so that is underway, and we need to add another research item. So the question is, what do we want to generate? Well, oil extraction is going extremely fast, so if we just hover and wait, we will be able to add a couple of items, and we can also have a look at what else is available to research. So tea boiling is done, and what we'll do is diesel generators and refrigerators just to get them researched, and there we go. We now have coffee as well, so someone has made the coffee, not sure who. I'm sure it's probably Katina, but also we can now do additional crops as well, so we can plant that heptagonia, and we can also now build an oil press. So let's make a wooden oil press, and I'll give you a clue. The oil from crushing stuff will allow us to bake bread. And we also want to pickle some veg, so how many do we want to do? I don't know, let's go 10, and ferment, and that's it. That's going to use 200 of our buttermelons. And again, the other one will do that till 10. So again, it's going to take a long time, but the pickled vegetables obviously last a hell of a lot longer than the raw ingredients. We've also now discovered glitter cap, finally. Normally one of the first things you discover, but it took a little bit longer to find some on this seed. Now we're just continuing to sort out the queue, and now we've discovered glitter caps, and that we can do into a healing balm, and it's also another vegetable ingredient for our foods. So there we go. So that's a few new items being put into the settlement. Let's skip forwards again, and if we go back over to the rocks here, we can mine the ore deposit because it's now been discovered, and also we have the opportunity to potentially get resources from other stuff as well, and we can plant glitter caps so we can harvest our own. So again, let's set this all to mine, just so that we get a big increase in stone, minerals and everything else, which is worth doing. Oh, another autosave, lovely stuff. Okay, so that's all of that being done. Let's skip forwards again, and over here we have these that still haven't been discovered, and we've got 6 aggressive animals. Okay, and they're over here in the forest. Okay, they're quite far away. They're near the rocks that we're mining. That's fine. We've got Raka and Edmund. They've both got guns anyway, so no big deal. And there's only 6 of them. Now again, dependent on the difficulty that you're playing at, that could be a much bigger number. Now I'm running it through on easy purely as it's a first run through and it's more of an educational series than anything else. But a lot of people play this for the combat and play some of the insane modes. So we don't need to cancel the observation of that. So we've got something else that we haven't discovered. And that is 20 ore. So again, that's stuff that can be reprocessed in our smelter for alloys. And there's a few more rocks up there, but not many. There's some glitter caps in that forest were we to want to go and harvest them. But again, no big deal, don't have to. We've got plenty of food at the moment, and we've got a lot of resources. Now again, under the defense thing, we could put some additional traps in, but let's go back to our research. Right, we're at 94% for tea, so someone needs to come back and sort that out. Oh, and we've just finally discovered skin bark. Nice. So these are the big purple plants that I was telling you about, and that is going to allow us to harvest vegetable leather. So now that it's been researched, okay, we can now farm skin bark as well. But what it will allow us to do is make a punching bag, because we need 20 leather. So let's go to orders, let's go to harvest, select it all, and there we go. Now that then needs to be reprocessed at the workbench into leather, but it will give us leather that we can use, which is very handy. So let's skip forwards again, because I noticed that the number of these aggressive animals kept decreasing, so I thought I'd go and have a look and see what it was. Well, that bird creature is attacking the aggressive animals and doing us a favour, which is quite cool. So yeah, there's now only 3 left. The bird is still attacking, and there is only 2 left. So there's another bird attacking somewhere else. There it is. No, that one's running away, I do believe, but there are only 2 left, so a lot less for us to deal with, which is fairly handy. I'll also skip the footage forwards again, because it took quite a while for the creatures to then actually decide to attack the base. But yeah, it is what it is. So I will cut this as well. So there we go, the bird's running away. We only have 2 animals left, and there's an insect swarm there. But we've researched veggie armour and tea boiling, and here's the music to say that the attack has started. So what we want to do is draft someone. So let's draft Edmund. I don't know where he is at the moment. Oh, he's actually quite close, and we'll get him to go up into this tower. And we can also draft Raka as well, although I think he's miles away. It doesn't really matter, we've only got 2 insects attacking anyway. It's not like it's going to be particularly challenging, so let's skip forwards. Here they come. Edmund's ready to deal some damage. I don't know why he decided to get down then. That's just uselessness, but okay. 1 insect dead. Oh, for goodness sake. She's going to get injured. And again, he's climbing down rather than attacking. To be honest, the attacking is a little bit clumsy in this game. But again, there we go. He finally did what he was supposed to. Let's butcher these to get some insect meat. And of course, she's going to be injured. So we've undrafted them both, and they will now return to bed. And Katina needs to have her wounds treated, because she decided to wander out during an attack. So again, as I said, sometimes it's a bit clumsy, but still the combat isn't terrible, as long as you don't misclick and they move instead of attacking. And as we can see, Katina's gone to bed because she is now waiting to be treated. Now, someone will probably go and treat her quite quickly, but what we can do is get Edmund to go and do it. So because his healing at the end of the day is 3, so it's quite a good skill. So he should be able to treat her wounds, and then we can get him to go and pick up the meal that he was going to eat and continue. So there we go, she's got a bite on her foot and a bite on her leg. So now he's treating the one on the left foot. There we go, and she's fine and her health will recover. Now I love the fact that he's just left his food just sitting there, so let's go and tell him to eat it, seeing as that's what he was about to do. Now the other thing that I do want to see added to this game is the ability to queue orders rather than the person just dropping what they're doing and immediately proceeding to what you've ordered them to do. It would be good if you could actually stack those items, but it is what it is. Now the traps will be reset by someone, so waiting to be armed. Someone will go and arm it. That's fine, it's not a problem. Okay, so let's skip the footage forwards again into the last couple of minutes of this episode. So our flamethrowers are being researched, we've got our generators and refrigerators, and we need to add something else to be researched, and I'm still not selecting construction basics, which is one of the key metrics that you need to research so that you can build a house. And I've selected electronic components, so basically circuit boards, because we have a lot of silicon, we have a lot of ore, and we have a lot of liquid fuel that we have recovered from the spaceships. So again, someone's gone off to harvest the what's it called again? Something bark? Skin bark, that's it. So the skin bark, which of course we can then turn into leather. And they're harvesting all that and bringing it back. Now, as everyone's okay at the moment, as I said, no major mental health issues or breakdowns being deserted on a planet at the moment. Everyone's surviving quite well, and I did mention we were going to expand our crops, so now's good a time as any. Let's do a glitter cap field. About that size will do, I think. Yep, that'll do. And we also want to make another plot of skin bark, because that we haven't planted yet either. We can't plant it over there, and it is quite a big crop square, so let's make it quite big over to there. That seems quite good. Let's get that done. There we go. Katina's off planting already. Raka is currently idling. That's fine, and we have researched flamethrowers as well, so let's get one built. Let's find out where we can. There we go. There's a good place. So once they get through, they get roasted if they get inside our defences. But it also gives our guys a chance to kill stuff first. So there we go. We have a flamethrower. We've expanded our crops. We've expanded our storage. We've uncovered new resources. We've done a lot more research. And we are moving towards having a fairly good camp and home on this planet that we did not expect to crash into, being stranded of course, and seeing a new alien dawn. But for today's episode, this is the last few seconds of footage. There's about a minute to go, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else here that's worth. Yes, so veggie leather. So again, as I was saying, on the workbench and until, because you need to treat the raw material and turn it into leather. So how many do we want? Let's go with +10, leave that as is, and that is in the queue as well. Now what you can do is increase its priority, and we also have smoke leaf pipes. Now we don't have any smoke leaf pipes in our list, so we should probably add some of those as well before the end of the episode, because everyone likes a good relaxing smoke, of course. Oh no, hold on, they don't. Oh well, it is what it is. In this game it helps people relax. How many are we going to do? 3 should do. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it for episode 3. I'm Know-It-All Gaming. If you've enjoyed the content, please drop a like and subscribe. Till next time, see you then.